I do think that there is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. There is a thing called tall privilege. And we have to acknowledge that. And so part of it is about race, because if you think about the Brittany Griners of the world, you know, why did she have to go to play in Russia?
Because they wouldn't pay her.
Because they wouldn't.
Kind of on the play before bumping in with Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the FIBA
I
score.
didn't answer no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
That's enough.
I don't want to make it seem like Caitlin Clark is the reason why these people are in the WNBA. Of course not. But at the same time, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Caitlin Clark is the reason why y'all are getting better deals. Caitlin Clark is the reason why y'all are flying away. You heard Dave Portnoy earlier said, no, go back to flying commercial. Y'all complained, and they listened because of the popularity and the recognition and the eyes and the media Caitlin Clark brought to the WNBA. Remember that. So that's why I say, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Because without Caitlin Clark, there would be none of this. It's about time that we talk about this, because I've sat back and I've waited. I've listened. I've observed what everybody's been saying all over Twitter, all over social media, even on Instagram. I've been seeing these videos and people one way or another. And it's gone so far that the WNBA, and this goes back to my tweet that I put out, and if I can find it, I'll put it in the video. But I put out a tweet not too long ago, maybe even a week ago, where someone said, oh, the WNBA is getting all this recognition, more recognition than it's ever been, blah, blah. It's on such a big platform in the world, and I've never been more happy, and this is great. And I retweeted it. I quote tweeted, and I told her, lady, I was like, be careful what you wish for, because that's not necessarily a good thing. And I'm not saying the WNBA can't be great, but again, we're talking about women. Women now in a sport. So you add being competitive on top of that. But they're still women. They're still emotional. Not to sound sexist, but that's just the way it is. Women are emotional. Well, look at what's happened already. I don't know WNBA's schedule, so I don't know if we're halfway through the season or whatever, but or if we're a quarter way through the season, halfway, I have no idea. However, it's gotten to the point where now I feel like I do have to say something. Because people still aren't really shutting up about this whole Caitlin Clark thing. Like, I can understand if it's Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. That's one thing. That's a rivalry, and even that's not even a good rivalry, to be honest. Like, it's good for the sport, I think, because it's bringing money, it's bringing attention. But what kind of attention are you bringing? Caitlin Clark, the highest paid WNBA player, I don't know if all time, but I know right now she's the highest paid WNBA player. Right now I know she's the highest paid. Right now, she's the most watched player in the WNBA. Right now, a lot of eyes are on the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark alone. Then you add Angel Reese to that as well. So I think that's where the rivalry comes from, is because you had them going button heads in college. Then they get it's Shannon Sharp said it best I forget the name of one of his casts, but the nightcap. He said it best. Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, when they first hit the league, because they were rivals in college as well. So it makes perfect sense. But here we are again, circling back around to what I was talking about months ago, where we have people that are not fans of the sport trying to dictate how the sport is played, how the sport is looked at. And this is all thanks to social media. So, I mean, that's a given, right? But shout out to English Smart. He says, a lot of y'all don't actually know what the definition of racism is, and it's very telling. Or very concerning. But it's also very telling. But to me, I think it's racism on both parts. It's the same thing when it comes to politics. It's like, wow, y'all are fucking crazy on the left. But then you look at the right and you're like, wow, some of y'all motherfuckers are taking this way too far. And you're like, whoa, you kind of got to stand in the middle and say, like, whoa. That's why, hey, man, got to talk about my girl Cameron Brink. But that's a whole other thing. Shout out to Cameron Brink, though. Fine ass. But if we're going to sit here and talk about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, that's one thing. But now we're talking about the entire WNBA going after Caitlin Clark. And I'm not saying that, oh, she's being bullied, blah, blah. But, fam, y'all are taking this way too far. Because even, like I said, I had to sit back. I had to observe because, one, I never played the sport of basketball on an actual team. One could say that's probably the sport that I actually am best at, though. I just like it the least of all the other sports that I played. But, anyways, that's one thing. I never played the sport. And two, I wouldn't know what I'm talking about until I wanted to see are they actually fouling her? Are they actually going after her, targeting her? Because I can see in terms of like a competition standpoint, a competitive standpoint, you're going after another player. Yeah, y'all beefing, whatever. Y'all go back and forth. But when you're literally watching videos and clips like this.
Hey, watch this. Watch Caitlin Clark here. Hey, what the hell is that? Fly commercial. Hey, fly commercial, you bitch. Fly commercial.
Like, what was that? And then there was another clip that we saw the other day where I want to say it was maybe 2 days ago, where she was at the one chick was at the foul line, shoots the foul shot, walks. She has another foul shot to go, walks from the foul line to go straight over to Caitlin Clark and get in her face and talk shit. And it's like, bro, what are we doing? This ain't basketball anymore. Y'all are hating on the one person that's actually helping feeding y'all. I can get if y'all talking shit going back and forth, but when you're literally stopping the game to do this shit, when it's the first time WNBA has been given this big of a fucking platform, y'all have a serious emotional problem. And it shows. And look, man, I can't sit here and blame the internet and say, oh, I'm not going to sit here and just blame the internet. But at the same time, we're the ones dictating the narratives of this stuff as well. And now you see the actual WNBA players feeding off of that and bringing it onto the court. Now, again, like I said, I can't blame us that's talking on the internet, whether it's one way or another. I'm sitting here saying, hey, fam, I'm cool with the competitiveness between, whoever. But let's not take this shit too far to where it's affecting the game and to where the WNBA is now being looked at as a bunch of crybabies. And now they have to change certain rules because of either a player or a couple players. But here we are. Internet divided once again. So like I said, I had to sit back and hear from actual professionals that have played, at least in pro sports. And here we go. Emmanuel Acho. He says, Caitlin Clark gets called a bitch, then decked by a Chicago guard, Trinity Carter, away from the ball. Does Caitlin need to toughen up, or are women out to get her? What do y'all think? Now, let me just say this. Shout out to Emmanuel Acho, because I talk bad about this guy all the time. He has some of the worst opinions of all time and has some of the worst perspective and viewpoints of sports and life in general of all time. And probably should not be given a microphone to put in front of his face, and probably should not be paid. Actually, I would go as far as saying definitely should not be getting paid for his opinion and his viewpoints. But he does, and it's whatever. But he has a point. And just like he had a point with the Angel Reese thing a while ago, and then remember that famous video where he had to basically do his walk back and apologize and say that he got whipped by his big brother corrupt Ryan Clark? Yeah. That was not too long ago. But even Emmanuel Acho sees what's going on. And this is a guy that you could say is one of the biggest virtue signalers in mainstream media in 2024. Now, this is where I knew that I was like, okay, now I am kind of seeing where you have a big bunch of people on social media that are trying to pull the race card and trying to say, oh, get this white girl, blah, 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 targeting her because of her race. I see the comments. It's not most people. I wouldn't even say it's half of them, but it's a large number of people that I've been seeing on the internet pulling the race card. And then whenever anything happens with Angel Reese, oh, she's black. Y'all sitting here trying to tear down black women, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, fam, they do it to themselves. The Chennedy Carter chick literally does this to, I'm about to call it Angel Reese, to Caitlin Clark. And then, before we get to the Matt Barnes thing, look at what she says in a post-game interview. After all that stuff, after all the smack talk, after all the fouls, well, not all the fouls, but after all that smack talk and pushing and shoving and literally, I guess, not sucker punching, but look, being pretty much playing dirty with Caitlin Clark. Look at what she says in this post-game interview.
Kind of on the play before bumping in with Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the fever
I
score.
ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
You hear this shit? She says, I ain't answering, and you see her look rocking back and forth, ugly ass. I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions. I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark. Just like, oh my God, just like a hood rat, man. Just continue to repeat herself. I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions. I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions. Okay, then why the fuck did you do what you did on the court then? Why are you acting so hostile after you acting like you got amnesia after the game now? I ain't answering no Caitlin Clark questions. And then you got old girl sitting over here like, and then you got Angel. Oh, man. It was a whole fucking thing. It was a whole, and again, it may seem like I'm taking this shit personally. I'm not, but it's just like, fam, y'all are making me look bad. I get secondhand embarrassment because now people are really trying to pull the fucking race card on this shit and saying this is how niggas is acting. And I have no way of fucking defending any niggas right now. Any niggas in this situation, I have all the niggas involved, I have no way of defending y'all. None whatsoever when they say that shit. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart the fact that I can't even defend my quote unquote own people. Because y'all sitting up here acting like hood rats, getting on the court, acting like it's the fucking street. And again, if that's the game, that's the game. But I have yet to see any Caitlin Clark fucking decking motherfuckers on the court. I have yet to see Caitlin Clark put somebody on their ass multiple times. Until then, this is all I gotta go off of. And listen to this last part too. I think it's either the coach or this old butch ass bitch.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything.
That's enough.
Oh, okay, so it's the coach. That's enough. No, Caitlin Clark. Talk about and again, I don't want to make it seem like Caitlin Clark is the reason why these people are in the WNBA. Of course not. But at the same time, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Caitlin Clark is the reason why y'all are getting better deals. Caitlin Clark is the reason why y'all are flying away. You heard Dave Portnoy earlier said, no, you go back to flying commercial, you dumb bitch, for doing that shit. Y'all complained, and they listened because of the popularity and the recognition and the eyes and the media, I guess the media cameras and everything that Caitlin Clark brought to the WNBA. Remember that. So that's why I say, talk about biting the hand that feeds you. Because without Caitlin Clark, there would be none of this. We wouldn't give two shits about what's going on in the WNBA. You wouldn't have the viewerships that you have. So all big girl up here, Arthur the Aardvark looking ass, you can sit up there smirking and smiling, staring at the camera all you want. But remember, there will be no cameras right there. You will be talking to no one in the press conference about nothing, not even Caitlin Clark, if there was no Caitlin Clark. And if she went straight to the big three, there would be no eyes on the WNBA, even with Angel Reese there. And this is coming from somebody who has yet to watch a single game of the WNBA. And I'm telling you this. So let's go back to Matt Barnes. So this was when I knew that my initial thoughts and my initial intuitions and my vibes was absolutely correct.
So there's a hot topic going on right now. Caitlin Clark says she got cheap shotted against the sky. I mean, throughout the season, she's been getting beat up. Hard screens, elbows, knocked down. It is what it is. She's not the first. She won't be the last. My issue and my question is, where the fuck are her...
Which is facts. which is facts. That's why I said I'm going to sit back because it's a competitive game. As a guy who grew up playing football and a guy who grew up watching football, NFL, college, all that, and still do, even though it's gotten soft as shit, guess what? I love the competitiveness. The more physical the game of basketball is, the more I'm going to watch it. But it's got to be to a degree. It's got to be for a reason. It can't just be fuck this chick. We don't want you here. Blah blah whatever. While all the eyes here, all the cameras here. If that's the case, then give your money back. Don't fight for a bigger contract because guess what? You wouldn't be getting a bigger contract if it weren't for her. The cameras, the ESPN wouldn't be there. Y'all used to get one game a fucking week. Now y'all on ESPN every damn day.
Teammates at? Where y'all at? Where the rest of the Indiana Fever at? I've seen a couple girls smirk when she's got knocked down.
There goes Angel Reese right there.
Where the rest of the Indiana Fever at? I've seen a couple girls smirk when.
Look at her. Standing on the sidelines, cheering after that. All hyped up after that. That's Angel Reese for you. Petty. Woman. Emotional. I could go on.
She's got knocked down, half-assed to pick her up. Like, y'all supposed to protect the asset, protect the star. And all this is the team. She's the star. You always protect your star. I was someone who protected the stars. You fuck with Kobe, CP, Blake, list goes on. It's going to be a problem because you guys are supposed to be a family. And you wonder why you sit at the bottom of the league right now is because y'all don't protect each other, man. Coach don't do shit about it. Players don't do shit about it. Y'all should be ashamed of it. But the rest of the league is going to continue to test her. And that's what they're supposed to do. It's your guys' fucking job to have her back and have each other's back. Got to do better, ladies.
So he brings another perspective into it of the teammates. The teammates ain't doing shit. Like, where are y'all at? Why ain't y'all protecting her? And that's another thing that Shannon Sharpe brought up last night as well. So, again, that's a perspective that I didn't even think of. That's something that, again, you're talking about guys that not only played in pro sports, but you got Matt Barnes here who actually played the sport of basketball at the highest level and arguably on one of the best teams of all time. So, look, if y'all ain't gonna believe the Matt Barnes of the world, if y'all ain't gonna believe the Shannon Sharpes and I guess go off of the intuitions. I should stop saying intuits, but and go off of the vibe of Emmanuel Osho. If y'all ain't gonna do that, if y'all ain't gonna at least try and keep an ear out or understand what they're trying to tell you, instead of just calling them racist, instead of saying why are you defending this white girl, blah blah blah, whatever, instead of looking at everything as race, how about you guys start looking at it as a sport? Talent standpoint, a team standpoint. But nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to look at it and say, oh, she's getting what she deserves, blah, blah, blah. But as soon as something happens to Angel Reese, if even half of what happened to Caitlin Clark happened to Angel Reese, oh my God, dude. Rules will be changed in the WNBA. And y'all think I'm playing, but I guarantee you, watch. Watch the first black woman to get treated the same way Caitlin Clark is being treated. Oh, wait, that's right. It will never happen. That's why they're getting away with it right now. And again, it's not their fault. They're the perpetrators. They're the ones that's doing it. They're the ones that's getting away with it. If you're continuing to do something bad and you're continuing to get away with it, you think you're going to fucking stop? No. So until somebody intervenes and says, yo, y'all got to stop fucking just straight up just tackling a bitch at this point, and running over and leaving the foul line and going over to another player to start shit. And it's like, until y'all do that, man, until y'all stop, it's going to keep going. And it's going to get worse. Because worst case scenario, Caitlin Clark gets injured. Or worst case scenario, Caitlin Clark fights back and then boom, here we go, a whole brawl. And then the WNBA is before their first season where they have all of this fucking fame and media coverage, before that first season is even over, there's already been a brawl. I feel like that's what's going to happen. And then it's going to take me right back full circle again to that tweet that I put out last week about be careful what you wish for, and that's probably not, it's not necessarily a great thing. The fact that WNBA is bigger and has more media coverage than it's ever had. at such a fast rate because of one woman. But don't want to be the guy to say I told you so, but that just might happen. Anyway, so Angel Reese, who was talking about Caitlin Clark all this time, she was fined $1,000 for failing to make herself available to the media after Saturday's game. And the Sky were also fined $5,000 for failing to ensure that all players would comply with those policies. So she was fined, right? Fined for all of that. But yet you have shit like this that we're supposed to stand for, right? We're supposed to tolerate shit like this from Angel Reese. So you can be available post-game. And I don't know whether they won that game or not, but you're not available. After all that happened, you make yourself unavailable, but yet you're doing this before the game.
Can somebody hold my phone? Sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Y'all don't know how to act, man. Like I said earlier, y'all bring it on yourselves. I'm not even gonna sit here and try and act like I'm gonna defend y'all. Like y'all are ridiculous at this point. Fuck out of here with this. I'm innocent. I'm this. Nah. Like you over here looking like whatever that thing is from Ice Age, posing and shit, and then you going on the court and you look again. I'm not using the word bullying. Let me retract that. I'm wrong for saying bullying, but you going out there and starting fights with somebody that ain't starting fights with you. Y'all can go back and forth, smack talking and playing the game, whatever, and kind of roughhousing, whatever. But when you go out there and you got your teammates out there pushing and shoving and knocking your rival down, and you're sitting there cheering them on and shit, and then you make yourself unavailable after the game, to me, that's pussy shit. But again, we're talking about women and them being in their emotions and not being able to control their emotions. Way worse than men. But anyways, man, let me know what you guys think, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, all that good stuff. Look, maybe one of these days I'll actually watch a full-blown WNBA game. But right now, it's just still not making me want to watch any of that shit, to be honest. But I don't know. It's your boy Corn. I am out.